Joe presents Liquid Football.
Hello, welcome to Liquid Football on Joe. It's the show that takes you inside the dressing room and puts you in the boots of the players. I'm Kelly Cates, and joining me this week, Carlton Cole, and making his debut, former Newcastle, Bolton, West Ham midfielder Kevin Nolan. Let's start with Tottenham Man City, because it was a bizarre game that had all kinds of strange goings on in it. Tottenham went on to win it 2-0, but City missed so many chances in that game. They're now 22 points behind Liverpool. It's the start of February, which is just ridiculous. But Pep Guardiola stayed in the dressing room. He said he was talking to his wife. He stayed in the dressing room on the phone to his wife, he said, for an hour.
I want to know what they were talking about.
He's asking her a bit of tactical advice. How to read Tottenham, maybe.
You know what I mean?
If he was in the dressing room, and if he was in, I mean, he may have been on the phone to his wife for the whole time, but if he was in the dressing room talking to the players, what are you saying after a game like that, in which, because this isn't the first time this has happened this season, where it looks as though they've had the better of it, but they've come away without taking all 3 points. So what can you talk about in that situation?
Just depends. I think it just depends on how they lost the game, what they've been working on throughout the week, what's going wrong from the start of the season. Maybe it's just going through each game on what they wasn't doing right. Do you know what I mean? And that could take a long time. Do you know what I mean? And he actually is a perfectionist. You can tell, and he's one of those ones that would definitely pick out all individual faults in the game and actually analyse it because it's in his head and he wants to get it off his chest there and then. But that's what I would think, but I don't know if it's whether it's true or not.
The way and think that he's now sort of looked at it and gone, right, we've lost this game. This is what we've got going forward. This is what we want now to look at in terms of we've got the Champions League. We've got to go out and attack that at all fronts. We've lost the Premier League. 22 points behind Liverpool. I think they've got 100 points out of the last 102 what they've been made. So they're well clear now. So I think it's just sort of him going, right, we've got to get this mentality back, but it's got to be for the FA Cup. It's got to start with the Carabao Cup, and it's got to be with the Champions League, because that will, I think, if they don't win 2 of them 3, it's going to be a sort of poor season by their standards and certainly by his, because he you know, and I think you always get that with Pep when he has a loss, or you know, you sort of get the grumpy Pep, don't you? When it's all going nice and it's all good, you know, you see the happy smiley one, but you can tell how intense he is, and he lives and breathes football, so that will be hurting him. But I think that might be his sort of way of, because he didn't come out and have a go at the lads, did he?
No.
Afterwards he come out and said it was a good performance. And so for me, I think it would have been, right, this is where our season's got to go now, you know, and sort of reminding the lads.
Saying that, I think for me personally, for Pep, what a successful season would look like for me right now is him going out to win the Champions League. Like, because he's done the rest. Well, you know what I mean?
It's crazy, because if you look at it last year, I mean, Kelly will know as well, Liverpool are desperate for a league title, and Man City are desperate for a Champions League. So if they would have been able to swap that, they would have definitely would have shook hands and gone, yeah, no problem. Well, so I think this year,
the pressure's not on for the league anymore.
No.
I think everyone's to come to the fact that it's not there for them now. They're like 22 points in front. Come on, mate. It's going to take a major slip up from that. It's going to have to be the mess-ups of all mess-ups for that,
got to
for
win
Liverpool.
6 in the last 30.
Do you know what I mean? So it's impossible for them. I'm saying right now it's impossible for them to win the league. So now what they have to focus on is that Champions League.
Unless
and now it's the first time.
Newcastle moment.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So that was the first time ever where they can say, do you know what? The league's not important, Let's go for the Champions League. And it will be perfect for them to go and win the Champions League. On those circumstances.
You can sort of see him resting players now in the Premier League, can't you? And thinking, right, this is what we've got to go out all attack on now. And so, like De Bruyne, he won't play because of the injuries he's had. He'll just be specifically played in the Champions League and like wrap these lads in cotton wool.
Because as you said, it's about maintaining that level of performance and keeping that momentum going. And he's talked about this, Guardiola said, we need to put in really good performances. He conceded it a few weeks ago. But he said, it's important that we keep the level of performance up because we need momentum going into the Champions League. And that might well be what's being said in the dressing room afterwards. Like, I'm judging you here on the performance, because actually the result in the league now isn't that important.
I think the thing is, though, you've got to be careful that it's not just about performance, because you've got to create that. Look, they're all winners, but you've got to keep that winning mentality going. You've got to keep that winning motivation going. And they don't want to sort of put too much pressure on themselves to be thinking, well, it doesn't matter if we lose on Saturday because we've got to win on Wednesday. They've got to look at it as like it's another one. Get back into that machine out there where they go out, they play well, they win. And then that breeds confidence within itself anyway. So then they can attack the Champions League in the right way. But what I think you will see is that there'll be a lot more sort of them lads who are on the peripheral of the squad, sort of being introduced into the Premier League to get them ready, because he'll be thinking next year we've got a challenge on our hands with, if Liverpool keep this up, we've got to get back to them. So I think that's what will probably happen with him moving forward.
Just quickly on that sort of what they're aiming for in terms of the Premier League, because Jamie Carragher was saying earlier this week that he'd been in that situation in his time at Liverpool, where you get to about February and you think, right, well, probably not going to make maybe top 4 this year. We're not going to challenge for the title this season. It's just maybe about consolidating your place in the top 4. We're definitely not going to go down. You get to a stage where you don't really know what you're playing for. How much of a difference does that make psychologically? Because it shouldn't do. I know you'll say every game you go out and you want to do your best, because you will, but it just must, even those little edges that you lose must make a difference.
As you said, those little edges does make a difference. I think when you're going out, you're playing for something, you've got momentum, you're really fighting, and then you've got like teams that are challenging you for your spot, or you're trying to get away from being in the UEFA and you're trying to get into the Champions League. So those are the little bits and bobs that might spur you on to do well. But then when you got nothing, actually, you're in limbo. You're not really gonna win the league. You're not gonna really get relegated. You're not really gonna. You've got no threat going into the UEFA. Not the Champions. You're in the Champions League. I mean, and then you're fine. That's where you got to find the thing within yourself to say, what have I got to play for? So obviously the Champions League for the Man City is the thing for them to play for, and they can't lose sight of that. And I think there's a lot of players that lose that sense of challenge within themselves to like, okay, I'm not going to actually win anything this year, but the only thing I can win is the Champions League spot. So it's a really difficult situation, because I've never been in that situation. I'm just trying. As I'm talking, I'm thinking about how I'm feeling.
Is it not Tony Pulis' team's famous? And I might be doing him a disservice, but I think it's Tony Pulis' team who famously get to 40 points. And from 40 points, they would win maybe like 2 games between the end of the season.
Alan Kirbishley used to do that. Like, remember back in the day, Alan Kirbishley used to say, "Listen, we're coming at the start of the season. We've got to get to that 40-point mark." And I'm like, 40 points? Is that it? And we're safe. And it's like, so once we get to the 40-point mark, then we're like coasting. We're like, okay, every game is a bonus now. Any game we win is a bonus. So it's a little bit like that. That's the only thing I can compare it to.
Yeah, I think the difference is with Man City is that you've got a team who are full of winners, expected winners, who are champions, and they'll be hating with what's happened. So I think all that talk on Saturday would have been about, right, we've got to now start stepping up our game, because we want to win a Champions League. We don't want to have a 22-point gap come February next season. So this is where it might begin. So I think their mentality's got to be, right, Liverpool have put us right in our place here. We've got to hit back, because that's what it's been like for the last, say, 2 seasons, hasn't it? They've gone punch for punch. And, they won last year. Liverpool have absolutely dominated and bombarded them this year. So I'm expecting that this is Guardiola coming out to them and going, right, this is us now. This is what we've got to do.
Let's not forget the fact as well, of losing to Tottenham as well. He's not going to like that. No. To Spurs, you know what I mean? Mourinho, he's not going to like to lose to Mourinho, man. Come on.
And Mourinho so that is talk about it, is he?
Yeah, and Mourinho just got he's got a bit of swag with him as well. Like he's not actually talked about it. It's like it's a normal thing.
We haven't even talked about Mourinho going over to the linesman. When he sits down quietly, he sees Raheem Sterling might be getting a yellow card. He's all fine about it till he realises it might be a second yellow card, and then he's pelted over to the fourth official. What's going on?
Yeah,
he's definitely got his swag back.
He's definitely back.
There's an argument. This is a Mourinho Mourinho masterclass in that his way of playing teams that are better than the sides he plays against is just to be patient, and wait for them to make a mistake and punish them. I mean, that's going to hurt you sometimes, but it's not the worst plan, is it?
No, of course not. I think that the best thing about Mourinho and his teams is that you could see that they had a plan, they stuck to it. There was big moments in the game where his players stood up, especially Hugo Lloris. What a couple of saves he's made, and I think that's what he's been missing, to be honest. I think Lloris is a major player for Tottenham, and that save from Aguero where he knocks it onto the post, that would have gone in a couple of weeks ago. No disrespect with the other goalkeeper in. So there are moments in the game, and then he's just brought this lad in from PSV, hasn't he? And he goes and scores a wonder goal. Just them little things where you need big players and good players to step up, and that's what he's getting now, I think, at Tottenham. So you're going to see Tottenham, I think, move on and obviously become a sort of Mourinho-like team in the next, coming weeks and months.
On Man City and on staying back in the dressing room, what's the longest you've ever kept a team back in the dressing room?
Well, I told you off here, Cal, didn't I? Well, it's quite funny, actually. I don't think the players were funny or laughing about it, but we played Barnet and we lost in the last minute, and obviously we were going for the top three we wanted to be, and that was they were bottom of the league at the time, and I don't know, the whole sort of atmosphere and the attitude towards the whole game and the day sort of, for me and my standards, stunk, and I weren't happy. So on the way back, I was in the car with my assistant manager. The lads had got back on the coach to go back to Nottingham, and I just said to him, get them all back in. I want them all back. So as soon as they get off the coach, they're right up into the suite. We'll get the game going on. And then I start going through it and I'm stopping it. Right, what happens next? What goes on here?
Sometimes it needs to be done, though, man.
Of course, mate. How many times did we have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning?
So why shouldn't they go through it?
Exactly. So I'm standing behind them all, and you can just see as I'm stopping it, like the lads are just sort of slowly moving down the chairs, and it's like this girl and neck. It's like, what happens now? I think that this is me, gaffer. I'm going, yeah, you're right. I'm going through it because we play it. I've got this uncanny thing that whatever goes on the field, it never ever leaves me. So I don't have to look at the video. I know what's coming on the video. So that's the first time I'm watching it. So then the lads are going, and I'm going, no one knows. Well, watch you, like with me pointer, and all the lads are just like,
oh, it's got a pointer.
With a little light.
Oh my god, brilliant!
Watch you, and you.
Right. I'd hate that.
No, Coley knows how intense I can get when I'm mad.
He goes.
But I think that was. I think it was deserved, and I don't regret doing it.
Good.
Although the girl who was working with me, who's Claire Davison, who's a fantastic girl. She works with the FA now. She's doing really well. She's just moved up to the 21. She was our club psychologist, if you like. She come in, and obviously she was making the teas and getting the lads food and drinks because we were there for 3 hours, so I didn't get leave till 3:30.
What is the psychological perspective on that?
You know what?
From a psychologist's point of view, is that a good thing to do?
So all the staff are like going, that was brilliant, gaffer, well done. You know what I mean? Because they know how angry I am.
Yeah.
She comes in and bless her, she's dead. She's petite, little dark haired girl, but lovely soft voice. Great. She was great for me. Great, to someone different and see different perspectives. And she's gone, gaffer, can I have a chat? And I've gone, oh, here we go. I'm going to get sold off now. And she was like, but no, to be honest, she was great. And she just said, look, I think it was probably a bit too long. And she went, and you could have done this. And she gave me some good pointers from it, which I always, wanted people to stand up. But she always seen something different, which was nice. And I'm just so glad she's doing really well.
Do you know what? Yeah. Transitioning from a player into a manager is probably one of the hardest things to do, because you're still got that player mode and player mentality inside of you. But when you done that, you knew you'd arrived, didn't it? You knew you had arrived. Now I'm a manager now.
There's no going coming back across that line.
I'm not a people pleaser no more. Yeah? I've got to make the rule now. Do you know what I mean? So I'm impressed. I'm impressed. But you always had it in you anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. Well, listen, I loved it. I love it, and I still do want to get back into it.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, I just remember, I just thinking on the way back, and I was so frustrated, so angry about the day. what, you know, and you go back to like what had happened previously, and as Carlton, we said just a bit earlier, like is that I remember, you know, getting off the coach and everybody in for 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's like 12 o'clock when you just got back off the coach, and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to sleep, and then you're thinking, what's going to come tomorrow? Right? Everyone gets in for 4:45. This lad walks in at 1 minute. And you're like thinking, Coley, do not be late today.
Please don't let me down.
Don't let us down today and be late, because the gaffer will go absolutely, that'll just set him off even worse. Hopefully he's like, Lynn's been nice to him today.
But I used to do that. I used to come in late just to take the pressure off the other lads. There's always a
team player.
I'm a team player. I was like, you know what? The lads are going to go through it, Let me come in late,
Kelly, the amount of times I must have been me and him, and I'm Nobes will be going to me, he's not in again, is he skipping? I'll go, and he's going, I'm on my way.
You can hear there's traffic at the top of the road. The traffic at the top of the road that no one was caught in. Everyone's there.
I just got caught in a bit of traffic. I was going, everyone comes in that way. No one's been caught in it. You can tell he's just got up, you know what I mean? He's running out the house.
It is 6 o'clock in the morning though. Bloody hell, mate. 6 o'clock in the morning.
How much of your salary do you think went on fine?
Oh, mate. Remember I paid for the whole trip to go Dublin. We done a whole Christmas party. Remember I was telling you about the Christmas. It was me. I had to pay for the whole trip. Private PJ, by the way, private jet. All the way there.
Oh no, hello. We're now at a level now where we've got nicknames for private jets.
PJ.
PJ. How are you getting there?
PJ. No shots.
When I'm getting my kids ready for bed now, it's going to be a whole different private jet. Talk about private jets, showboats. Players is that all right? Showboating this weekend, because Liverpool's first goal against Southampton, couple of lovely little flicks in there, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain with the goal. But the funnier one was in France, where Neymar did the sort of rainbow flick. He didn't get booked for it. Maybe he should have done. But he got booked for something just after.
So what's the subject? What's the subject again?
Showboating.
Why have you got us on it then?
Have you ever got annoyed with anyone showboating against you?
Well, we could talk about other people, what they've done to my ego. No, to be fair, he's played with like a quality showboater, I would say. One of the most gifted players to come out of Africa, and Nigeria. So I let him tell that story, because I've got no showboat stories, by the way.
Only showboat stories we've got is against us. Remember when Ravel Morrison? What he used to do. Ravel Morrison, he was a really talented kid. He's just gone to Middlesbrough now, so we're open. You know, if you know him as a lad, you want him to succeed,
do well.
Don't you,
he is a player that there seems to be a lot of goodwill behind him, because he's always been on the verge of achieving something. And sometimes there are players that happens to, and you think, do you know what, they're probably going to go by the wayside. But it feels like there's a real groundswell of opinion.
Because he's a nice lad.
He's actually a nice lad.
Yeah. He's just made some stupid decisions and made some ridiculous ones, hasn't he? And, you know, like, obviously, Coley would, like, not turn in on a day or whatever, and just, like, he'd come in the next day and he'd be happy, smiley. We wouldn't see Ravel for 5 days, would we? And no one would know where he was or what, you know, and we were, like, ringing him, turning his phone off, then the next minute he's posting something on Instagram. So
genuinely worried for him, by the way.
and, like, you know, there was a time at Christmas we were meeting at 6 o'clock and in the evening, so obviously the gaffer would give us off, hadn't he, so that we could, you know, spend time with the families. He just hasn't turned up. So we're all on the bus for 45 minutes waiting for him, thinking he's going to turn up in a minute because we were going to an hotel. He just didn't turn up. But my God, what a magician with the ball and showboating. And he used to just tell you he was going to meg you beforehand. And run away with this stupid laugh, doing that when he's done it. And then I'd be getting more angry and running after him. And then he'd do it again to me because he'd go charging in. So you just like, and he was just like, but he was that like type of cheeky kid, you know, cheeky chappy kid. But again,
all innocent.
And
all innocent.
Yeah. And then talking about Jay-Jay, some of the things he used to do with the football was incredible. I think you've seen snippets of it against Arsenal on that day, but just in
Jay-Jay Okocha.
Yeah, Jay-Jay, mate. When he could just keep showing you go with him, you know, and the ball would move, but you go that way and then he'd go that way. But it was he was special, definitely, and some.
That thing against that one against Arsenal, is it Ray Parlour? The run for Pele.
The run for
mate.
He got seen off. Mate.
Oh, he got seen off, mate. He'll tell you himself,
I
mate.
I said to Razor too, I'll kick him for you, mate, when I get near him. Because it was just that disgustingly good.
Yeah.
Really,
Kids, if you've not seen that, trust me, go look at that, YouTube it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okocha against Ray Parlour.
But also, it's that there's a thing when it's someone on your team.
Yeah.
It's like to be on the pitch when they do something like that. Are you just laughing? Are you just like
you're just like
no, you're just like that.
Just give one of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've just seen that. And normally, like the opposition are looking, going, "Has he just really done that against us?"
Live TV. He's got no respect on your name, mate.
That's what he used to say. When anyway, he's got no respect for your name. No, he's got no respect.
But that and having it done against you, and it's so frustrating. And you've got somebody up against you. But like most players, you reach Premier League standard. You've probably been at your level, go through like kids levels and stuff. You've probably been the best player, one of the best players at every level that you played in, if you're going to go on to reach Premier League. So even though you say when you get to that level, you think, right, I'm not going to really pull out the tricks at this stage. You must have done it as kids. Like you must have been, because you will have been. And you're like youth teams and things like that. You would have been the player.
I was doing all sorts at them sort of levels. Like coming through the youth, like I was one of the I was one of the top guys. You know what I mean? Then I fell off somewhere, so I don't know what happened. All my confidence went out the window. I got told, Carlton, we don't want that. That's for the circus. That's for the circus. Just head it, mate. Chest it down, head it.
Get hold of it.
Sort your first touch out. Simple as that.
Who told you that?
I think I told myself that, to be fair.
That was him in the mirror.
Listen, Colin, know your levels. You're not as good as Zola. You're not. You know what I mean? So, it's just one of those.
That's a Franco.
Leave that to Franco. That's what I used to see. Like I used to see Franco doing some stuff. Like I'm thinking, all right, cool. He's really good at that. I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? So I just. You kind of,
but you could.
You humble yourself.
No, I think you find your way. Yeah, I mean, and you know, you'll get someone who's good at running with the ball. Like we were all. The reason why you do make it is because you are good at all them things, but you realise what's your best attributes and what's best for the team or whatever. Now, for me, it wouldn't be me doing lollipops on the wing. You know what I mean? It would be me.
Would have been brilliant.
I think I might have threw a couple of lollipops in when like we were winning 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And like it was like that was my little showboating. No one around me fell over.
Do you not miss it? Like when because there's a Raheem Sterling was talking about this and saying that when he went to Man City, he said he learned that it was just all about scoring, all about the right ball. It wasn't about. He said, but earlier than that, he would go out and go, I want to go off and I want to show, I want to do tricks, I want to do, because that's where you get joy as well.
Well, I used to do tricks. I swear, I know.
No, I believe
but
you.
And then when I actually do have a couple of tricks.
I remember him doing one.
No. But I actually do have a couple of tricks. No, I've got tricks.
You're the one who started off by saying you're asking the wrong people.
Yeah, no. I'm playing myself down here.
Nobody said that to you. Yeah.
He's having a word with himself again.
Yeah, I always have a word with myself while I'm talking. But what it is, right? Like, I'm not saying that I didn't have any tricks. I've got tricks. I could get a tight situation, do you know what I mean? And then when I actually did it on the pitch, do you know what threw me off? It was the crowd. The crowd to go, even Cole is bringing out the tricks. I'm like, hold on, I've actually got tricks, you know. Like, I'm on the field thinking about, like, don't cheer for me when I'm doing this step over. It's a step over, this Cruyff turn.
What do you mean?
Yeah. What do you mean? What?
That's going. That's Coley just.
It's the Cruyff turn. The most basic, the basic of tricks. And the people are looking at me thinking, wow, I can't believe you. I didn't know you had that in the locker. I didn't know you could even 10 kick-ups. I didn't know you could do that. So
I don't think the crowd know like the level that Premier League footballers play at, even the ones that you know, the ones that go out and they get stick from the crowd every week and they get this kind of, because I know people who've been to like training sessions who come out and say a player they think is maybe like a big solid defender who just hoofs the ball, and see them doing the rondos and things like that, and they're like, oh my God, that player's brilliant. And it just, but you don't realise what a narrow band that you're working in the Premier League.
It's crazy because, you know, my son's now at Forest Academy. He's 10, and you know the parents are really intense because they think that the kids are going to be footballers. And I said, look, in stark reality, we were training this was about 6 months ago now, and I said to all the dads, I said, maybe one in this gym, and there was about 50 kids, might make it.
Yeah.
I said, if you're lucky, 2 or 3. I said, and that's how difficult it is to play at the top.
And it's never, ever, well, it is sometimes, but it's not always the standout kid that's there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and he could, this standout kid might be doing all sorts of tricks like Neymar, seeing all that sort of stuff, but that doesn't mean that he's got the characteristics to go on to make it to the top level.
The mentality,
and then once
everything you've got to have the whole abundance.
Exactly. So when you get to the top level, then it's about your characteristics, what you're bringing to the team, not just about your skills and all the stuff. That's why someone like Ravel Morrison, he's got all of the attributes and the skills, but then probably didn't have it mentally. And where us guys, we probably had it a little bit, were stronger mentally, and not saying that we lacked the skills, but we knew where to place it, and that's a skill in itself.
Football intelligence.
Game intelligence is probably one of the biggest keys. Is that knowing your key attributes, knowing what's your best at, and knowing what your mates are better at. So, and that's where a lot of kids probably fall off the side, because they might be a bit more selfish than what they should be, but it's important that you sort of have that off the field stuff as well. Support in terms of everything.
The parents are vital.
Yeah. In the vital cog in anyone's, because my dad never put no pressure on me.
Exactly.
There was no pressure on me. He never sort of made me do anything I didn't want to do. So as soon as I didn't want to do it, it was like, okay, fine, what do you want to do? But you have to do something. You can't just be sitting at home and sitting on a computer all day. But you can. But if you don't want to go to football, what do you want to do then, son? And it was just sort of so it was my drive and him not putting that pressure on me that just helped me just sort of flourish and do what I wanted to do. And I think that's the biggest thing now, and the biggest thing with parents, what I see, obviously, by taking me boy, is that sometimes they maybe put too much pressure on the boy too early, let them go on.
Well, I see it. I see it all the time at West Ham. So obviously, I'm the under-16s coach down there.
And they're just that bit further along the line, so the parents have got a bit more hope, a bit more expectation.
Because kids are transferring. There's like a transfer system at that age now as well, like proper, and people and like teams are paying for players at that age. And I'm looking at it and thinking, wow, that's a lot of pressure. Do you know what I mean? Because now that player is coming in to the fold, like say he's transferred from West Ham to Man United. Now there's a lot of pressure on that boy, and this boy is only like 14, 15. There's a lot of pressure on that boy, because now he's... So how do you deal with that? We didn't have to go through that, do you know what I mean?
It's not only that, the pressure brings, because everybody else at Manchester United, say, or the club where he's gone to, is like, oh, we've just spent this money. So he's got to go in with that and prove everyone why they've spent this money on him. So it's
he's still young, he's not ready to grasp that.
I mean, I remember the biggest thing is probably when we were growing up is that we'd get Irish lads come over and they'd all get
Irish lads always
a year pro or whatever. And I was going in and I just got me academy scholarship. So I was probably one of 5, I think, or 6 out of 13, 14 who didn't have a professional contract at the end of my academy. So it was like my thing was, well, these have all got pros, I've got to prove that I've got so it was always a drive within myself to try and better these boys, and it helped me.
It helps.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it's not good having too much too soon as a youngster, and that's where you've got to be careful with it, because it's a lot of pressure on young lads' shoulders now.
Because also in terms of like their physical development, it'll be the tall, strong, fast kids who will catch the eye. Like you said, it's not always that person who's the one who's going to... I think it was Leroy Senior was saying this. He said when he would go and watch like the young players playing, he'd look for the one who watched the game, because he said the one who's maybe like a little bit further back, takes a step back, can actually read it better, and then they develop, like you said, that match, that game intelligence.
They've changed a lot now, because my boy's just been doing a bio banding, it's called now. So it's not based on your age or whatever. It was based on your height and your weight.
Right.
So it gives everybody. So he's been training with them for the last month. I don't know if they do it at West Ham, but they do it. They've done it at Bournemouth. They've done it Watford. I know they've done it.
What is that?
Basically, what it is you go off your height and weight.
Okay.
So obviously, me and you would be banded together because we're 6'3", 6'4", same weight type. Whereas maybe yourself, if you be with all your height and weight, so it gives you that opportunity. So as you're saying, that one who is a bit taller has got a bit more weight behind them, and they can't sort of use just the physical strength. It's about them learning the game and using the feet a lot more.
Idea.
So it has, it's worked, but for some people, because what happens is that you do have that special kid who might be small and he's great and all that, but then he's banded with a load of 9-year-olds. You know, younger
boys. Younger boys that's the same height.
At the same height and his weight. So then he's not getting the challenge of being with them older ones. So it works, and there's pros and cons with it, you know, as well as anything. But I think the majority of the time they get a lot of positive feedback off it.
And start developing in the right way.
Yeah,
exactly.
This has gone in completely another direction from the way we were going to when we started.
We'll talk about showboating, but this is good news. It's actually good information for.
And there'll be loads of people who will have kids in the academy who want to, or kids who want to go on and play football.
Definitely.
Who want to be able to use it, and it's useful information. This is Liquid Football on Joe. I'm Kelly Cates alongside Carlton Cole and Kevin Nolan. If you like what you see and hear, then please do leave a nice review on iTunes or YouTube. Latest episode of a very emotional TKO with Carl Frampton sees Carl and Chris Lloyd visit the Hull lightweight Tommy Coyle as he announces his retirement from the sport of boxing.
Is this helping? Do you think this kind of helps to put a full stop on things, or is it making it a little bit difficult?
No, it's closure. Listen, if I'd have done this before Christmas, I couldn't have done it. I genuinely couldn't.
Yeah.
I've been in some holes over the last 6 months. Bad holes, crying all the time. Because it is hard, honestly. It's been my best mate for 25 years, this game. It's over, isn't it? Fucking ass, I don't want to do this, man.
Don't worry, it's a minute, mate. There's no rush. No rush. You owe me 50 quid.
TKO with Carl Frampton is available to download as a podcast, or you can watch it on YouTube. And remember to check out House of Rugby with James Haskell as well.
Right, we're about to play some old school Kirby. First to 10 points wins.
Rule 1, you've got to hit the curb. Rule 2, if you hit the curb and it comes back across the line, that means you get to go into the middle of the road. Rule 3, hit the curb and you catch it, that's double points. And finally, it's up to you to try and get the ball when he doesn't hit the curb and hit him to steal all his points.
Best of luck.
Good luck. Hopefully like you're shooting yet.
Hey! Do you know what? I'm going to do a throwing on, because like, it's more natural to my to my demeanour.
Yeah, because you used to do throw-ins, didn't you?
All wrong. I need to go back to what I know. Here we go.
I think that's suing it. I think that was suing it.
Yeah? Is it 2-0, yeah?
2-0, because I caught it. Here we go again, 4-0.
Hey! Yeah? Hey!
2-2. 3-2.
Still my go here?
Yeah.
From here?
Yeah.
There you go.
5-2. Yes! Touch!
No,
Touch!
no,
7!
no,
7-0. VAR, good.
All right, cool. All right. Ooh.
They're my points.
No,
that's my points.
Hit the floor
That's
first.
my points.
No,
that's
hit
my
the
points.
floor.
It's got to be my points. I'm thinking that they're my points. If it is the curb, it comes up.
No, it was a half volley.
So you're going half volley. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll let him off.
No! Oh, quit!
No.
Did I not catch it? Thank you. It hit the
Yeah,
thing.
but it didn't hit the curb.
I'm grabbing it up like that.
It's got to hit the curb. It hits him here.
Did it? VAR.
Just
No,
get back in your box,
here.
mate.
It was here.
No.
Yeah. It was on the curb,
5-4. Come
but
on.
not the edge of the curb.
5-4. Come on. 5-4 to Carlton. Oh, 7-4.
Yeah.
7-4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again.
8-4. That's all right. That's all right.
I'll take it, no problem. Is it me?
Yeah.
Okay, still me, yeah?
Still in the middle.
All right, no, don't want to give me these things, man. Oh, shit.
Done it!
No.
Oh, you
What's the
mother.
score, by the way? It's 7, what?
7-4, mate.
It's
all right.
It's 7, what?
4. That's my favourite number, you know that.
Number 4, yeah, it is actually.
Yeah! That's one. That's a champion's win, because that's 7 points, 11-0. 11-0. I just went for that stiff right knee he's got. That's all I needed. Champion.
What, you won?
Yeah.
How?
Got your 7 points. That's how it's played.
That's not the rules.
I let him get all excited by it. He got involved with everybody else, like he normally does. Gets the fans involved. All that. Me.
Let's
Keep me eye on the prize, on the game, and I knew.
Challenge.
Once he got into that middle, a dodgy little knee. Go for that dodgy knee, and then
we're playing for the tennis with
7,
a tennis ball now.
11-0,
Actually, no, we're playing for a golf ball.
He got schooled by the Northern King of Kirby.
So lots of moves in the transfer window, but no such luck for Wigan's Anthony Robinson. I mean, this is
Heartbreaking for the lad,
because if you haven't heard the story, he went for a medical on Friday with AC Milan, but they needed further medical tests with the Italian authorities, but they had a 72-hour deadline, which means that the deal wouldn't have gone through in time for him to get his move to AC Milan. So he's gone back to Wigan to see all his teammates, to go leaving to go and have a medical with AC Milan.
Listen, I understand his plight, mate. I understand exactly what he's going through, but at a lesser level. Yeah, because I didn't get on no plane. I didn't get on no plane to get to where I needed to go. But this geezer's gone all the way to Milan. Yeah,
seeing the sights,
and he's felt the heat on his skin. He's felt the heat on his skin. He's thinking, this could be a bit of meanness. This is me.
You'll see, there'll be people there, and even if they don't have the shirts on, they'll have like the badge on their bits of it, like maybe I don't know, like on a bit of kit or on a bit of equipment. You'll see it all.
And you're thinking as well.
The San Siro.
You're thinking the San Siro. You're thinking, what are the people going to say at home about this? Yeah, I've hit the big time. You know what I mean?
Wait till I go into training with Zlatan tomorrow.
I've done he's done. So what? He's done the first part of the medical.
Yep.
He's won the kit. He's won the training kit.
He's got the training kit on.
What if he's done the medical in the full tracksuit? Like, they've given him like the AC Milan.
They would have given kit to do it, wouldn't he?
I feel sorry for the lad, man. Like, like my situation was not as bad as that. So my one was I've been told that I'm allowed to go and talk to West Brom. So I've gone up the motorway. On the way up, I've had a few phone calls from other managers because thinking now everyone knows I'm available. So I was like, okay, but I've already set my sights on West Brom. So I've gone up there, and
so you're turning people down.
I'm turning people
on the
down
way up on the motorway. Yeah.
And I didn't actually know what was going on in the background, but apparently it was Adebayor was supposed to come to West Ham.
Yeah,
and I think something happened there, and it didn't happen. And it was like the last hour of the window, and I'd done my whole medical. I'd had the West Brom gear on and everything, as I know.
Did you do the thumbs up from the table?
I'm going like that, taking photos. Yes. And then all of a sudden, I got that dreadful phone call from Big Sam.
Oh my God!
And he's gone, Coley, you're gonna have to come down, son. Come back. I was like, what do you mean? No, I'm not coming back. He goes, nah. So he explained the situation to me, and I'm going, no, I'm not coming back. I can't do this. I've come all the way up here. Like, my heart's in it now. I've left. In my head, I've left. I've said, I'm gone. I've said bye to everyone. I'm gone. Then he's gone, nah, mate. Can't leave me open like that, so you're going to have to come back down. All right, so now, the second phase of this part, I've said so much. I don't know what kind of bad word I hadn't said to Sam that day, but the whole of the training ground at West Brom knew what I'd said, and it was really rotten, right?
You went straight back the next morning then?
No. There was no way I was going back straight away. I took a couple of days off.
I was ringing him, right, Cal? I was going, Coley, come on, just come back. And he's going, no, but you can't do this to me and all this, right? But obviously in a lot angrier voice and state. And because obviously the gaffers pulled me in and gone, listen, Coley is booing, you need to give him a ring and try and calm him down a bit because he is absolutely hammering me on it. But he understood, Sam, you know what I mean? He did understand them situations. He's not silly. He realised he was going to be playing games, whereas obviously he'd said
and getting paid really well.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that part, yeah? About the contract. The contract was unbelievable, mate. So, let's not forget that part. That's a big component opponent in this flipping. Hold on, listen, I'm getting back into it. Oh, I've got a headache. But let me tell you something, right? So I've come back, right? I've come back, and then obviously I've gone back to the manager's office, and he's gone, Coley, shoot me. Have a punch, whatever you want to do. Let's just get back to business, yeah? And I've gone, now you said it like that. I'm over it. Let's just crack on. And I tried to be as professional as possible. And I was professional as possible. And I just got back into the swing of things.
2 days later, though, like, it took him a couple of days.
Yeah.
He had a couple of
Also,
nights
that's
out and
2
that.
days for the rest of the players to all talk about you and have it all ready for you when you come back in.
Don't worry. As soon as he comes in.
So we do know exactly. I know how that boy is feeling, but he's at a bigger level. Like, he's gone all the way. And to be fair, his problem was that he didn't get called back. His problem was that obviously the situation over there, technicalities, but it still hurts. Do you know what I mean? It still hurts. And will he get that opportunity
now,
again?
Like after the weekend, you know what I mean? He's thinking I could have been in Milan now and stuff. And
He did beat Leeds. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad weekend.
Did he play?
No, he wasn't involved.
Exactly. But yeah, I know. Look, you're going from Milan to Wigan. You know, I no disrespect to Wigan. I was at Bolton, so I know.
For Wigan, but
yeah.
The best will in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not AC Milan.
No, exactly.
But walking in, that when Carlton came back, and like it's different. Anthony Robinson, you imagine there's going to be some sympathy because he's young.
Yeah.
And he's been to AC Milan. But Carlton coming back into West Ham.
Oh, mate, the banter. The banter was unreal. I got these lads on to me like, Coley, how was your trip, lad? Your trip up north? How was it, mate? Oh, did you stay up there for a couple of days? Nah. Oh, mate. But it was just, the banter. Like, you know that banter with the boys in the change room. They're just like, they give you so much stick. So, but actually, if it didn't give me that much stick, I'd have probably taken it a lot worse. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes when you do... So hopefully he's been... Anthony's been bantered, saying, you had a good holiday over to Milan, you know what I mean? Because that makes it a lot better. Although people will think, you lot are on a wind-up, but it actually softens the blow, so it's good.
Yeah, and it means you walk in sheepish, or do you walk in like that, down back?
I just can't remember.
Full Eminem.
Like
I remember him just walking in, and I'm going, Coley, what are you doing back there? To West Brom? He was going, donkeys. Just a wag of the finger.
Leave me alone, please. But listen, it's all fair game. Like, if it happened to them, I'll do the same thing. You know? So, you just got to accept it. You know? Like, if it happened to you, I'll do the same thing.
Just got to take the flak at the minute.
Sam Allardyce then he's having to deal with all of that. He's like, you coming in having to chat to the other player. Who'd be a manager in that situation? Yeah, exactly. But you said that, like you've not taken a job since Notts County. There's been offers, but what are you looking for then? What are the...
Well, the offers just come at the wrong time, really. I think I just moved. What we'd sort of organised or sorted is that when I was at county, was that my daughter was going into senior school, so it was right. She needs to have a stable school. We can't just keep moving her, because we'd moved around quite a lot as when they were younger. But she needs to sort of be in a school where she's settled, all that type of stuff. And so we decided Nottingham, and then obviously. The owner decided that he wanted to go a different direction, and we parted company. And then I went for the Wimbledon job, and then when I sort of got the job, I sort of looked at it on the map and thought, "There's no way I could live at home and travel because I wouldn't be giving my 110%. I wouldn't be focused because it's and you'll know, Kel, with your dad
full
and everything.
time.
It's full time, full 8. Nobody, you never stop." Thinking it, your phone's never stops. It is full on.
It's not like a player.
No,
like, you see, like on a player, you can switch off.
Yeah.
Or a player, like if you got a player that lived in London and had to go up to probably Bolton or wherever, and you as the manager, you could say, do you know what? Come in 3 times a week.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly. I mean? That was it. Yeah,
and
you can have these days off.
You can have these days off so you can get back and see your family. You can't do that as a manager.
No,
you can't do it.
But also, you want to look after your family as well.
Exactly.
You've got a responsibility to them.
I'd just been away from them for 18 months, so I just got them up to Nottingham to live with me We've bought a house. We're in the house. We were in the house a week when it happened, by the way. We were still on mattresses.
Oh, see, so
You know, like we didn't even have carpet on the floor because we were waiting for everything to all new come in.
Yeah.
So it was like, and then I've
made
lost
up your
my job.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm off to Wimbledon. I'll see you later.
So imagine then, I think, you know, I think my wife would probably be doing time, and I'd be buried in the ground now. So
really
it was like,
You're like Brookside.
under the patio.
under the patio.
So yeah, I had to make the decision that it wasn't the right time to go back in.
Yeah.
And because we didn't have the support network either. We have got that now. We've got it where, you know, we've got friends, and you know, we can get the boy to training. So even today, like, he's training this evening, so we've got friends who will pick him up from school and, you know, take him here and there because we can car share and all that. So, but we never had that. So I couldn't sort of agree to go and do that job and sort of give them my word that I was going to be there for
Family first.
110%.
Family first.
So yeah, as you said, it was sort of, that's what come. Family was first, and yeah.
It's hard though, because it's not a job in which opportunities come round every 5 minutes. So it's a big decision to turn something down. It's about 18 months now, and everything's settled and everything's ready. Do you ever feel like, because the longer it goes on, the more at the back of your mind you're thinking, do people still know? You know, you can't.
Well, the thing is I sort of took the decision that after, like, the first 6 months I was right, okay, yeah, all my efforts were going into sort of getting things right and ready to go back in. And then I've had a couple of interviews which haven't sort of come off, which I've been quite pleased about when I look back on it. And then I sort of made the conscious decision that I was going to get into more of this side of it after Christmas, and sort of get into this bit and keep your face in, keep your eye in, all that type of stuff, and then wait for something which is going to be right for me, because I always believe in you're not just taking a job because you want to be back in football. It's about doing the right thing and getting the right one, and that's what I'm sort of hoping that, you know, I'll get an opportunity where it's going to be the right one for me next time, which can then elevate me to get where I want, because I want to be back in the Premier League. I want to be managing there. But you know, I haven't.
It's a process.
And I seen that as a, you know, my sort of me being a youngster, you know what I mean, and back in like an academy graduate, you know, working your way up. But I learnt an awful lot, and I would never change it. Yeah, because I loved it. But I'm really enjoying this side of it as well too, you know.
It's going well. How would you rate it?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, mate. I got you, bro. I got you.
I know you, Colin, man. I know that.
You can't give us 10 out of 10 on YouTube or on iTunes. You can give us 5 stars, though, if you'd like to. And that is it for this episode of Liquid Football from Joe. Thanks to Carlton Cole and to Kevin Nolan for coming in. We're available every Monday. Remember, you can download the podcast or you can watch us on YouTube. And if you do want to leave a review, you can do that on iTunes or on YouTube as well. We've also got a Facebook page. Search for Liquid Football and you can get involved with the chat there. And you can check out our other shows as well. House of Rugby with James Haskell and TKO with Carl Frampton. For now, though, thanks for listening.
You've been watching Liquid Football on Joe.